my beloved child. The season of lack will no longer be permitted to define your future, because I am leading you into a time when provision begins to open in broader, more sustainable, and clearer ways. You have passed through too many days of calculating every small expense and too many nights lying awake with your heart burdened by questions about tomorrow. At times, you were afraid to speak about what you needed because you did not want others to see the exhaustion behind your calm appearance. At times, you prayed quietly, not asking for extravagant wealth, but simply for enough to pay what needed to be paid, care for those you love, and live without constantly trembling before the possibility of an unexpected crisis. I heard every one of those prayers. I know that the burdens you carried were not only about numbers, but also about the helplessness you felt when you had worked so hard and the results still seemed unable to reflect your effort. Not one season of waiting was entirely wasted. The years that seemed filled only with delay taught you how to distinguish genuine needs from temporary desires. What creates enduring value from what merely satisfies for a moment? When resources were limited, you learned how to manage carefully, value small things, and recognize that abundance does not begin with possessing a great deal, but with stewarding well what is already in your hands. These lessons will protect you when greater opportunities appear. I do not want increase to make you lose direction, chase approval through appearances, or use money to fill spaces that only healing can reach. I want you to expand while remaining humble, to possess more without becoming enslaved by what you own. The doors that closed were not always evidence of rejection. Some opportunities looked attractive, but carried hidden obligations that could have exhausted you. Some invitations promised quick reward while requiring you to sacrifice integrity, time, or peace. At the time, you saw only what you did not receive and believed I had forgotten you. But I saw the entire road behind those doors. I protected you from decisions that might have created a little immediate gain while leaving years of damage to repair. Therefore, do not continue grieving what failed to happen. Some refusals were actually protective boundaries, and some delays were giving you time to establish a foundation strong enough to sustain something more enduring. The flow of provision approaching you may not appear only as an unexpected sum of money. It may begin through an idea you once ignored, a skill that has now become valuable, a meeting that opens the way to collaboration, or an opportunity that allows your effort to be recognized properly. You may receive greater responsibility accompanied by appropriate reward. A small project you completed quietly may begin attracting attention. You may also discover a new method of management that prevents what you already possess from continuing to leak away. Remain open to many forms, because provision does not always come in the way you imagined. Sometimes what I give is not money falling instantly into your hands, but a door through which you can produce stable value through ability, disciplina, and healthy relationships. Prepare your hands to receive by bringing order into your life now. Look honestly at unnecessary expenses, decisions driven by emotion, and habits that cause you to spend merely to escape anxiety. For a moment, do not feel ashamed to begin with small steps. Recording income and expenses, prioritizing important obligations, building an emergency reserve, and learning to say "not yet" to what lies beyond your means are not signs of poverty. They are signs of maturity. Someone who can manage what is small can preserve what is large. I do not want you merely to pray for change, while continuing to live through former patterns. I want outward increase to be accompanied by renewal in your thinking, so that money becomes a tool that serves your life rather than a master that controls you. Do not search for shortcuts concealed beneath promises of becoming wealthy quickly. When you have waited for a long time, you can easily become attracted to anything, claiming that one decision will make every problem disappear. Be careful with offers lacking transparency, investments you do not understand, and people who pressure you to act before you have time to consider. Genuine provision does not require you to abandon discernment. What is good may require courage, but it will still allow you to investigate, ask questions, and understand your responsibility. I am leading you towards stability, not a brief excitement followed by chaos. Choose roads with a foundation, where value is created through honesty, ability, and perseverance. Do not allow comparison to steal your joy during the process of growth. You have watched others receive what you desired earlier and wondered why you seem to remain in the same place. But you do not know the whole story behind their success, nor do you need to use their speed to measure your life. Some people move quickly without a foundation, while you are being taught how to build something capable of enduring many seasons. What arrives later is not necessarily less valuable. Sometimes it comes when you are finally mature enough not to destroy it with your own hands. Continue learning, strengthening your skills, and doing well what lies before you. Every small step performed consistently is drawing you out of the feeling of being trapped. Even when the results are not immediately visible, when your resources begin to increase, remember the purpose of abundance. You are allowed to breathe more easily. Care for yourself. Enjoy the fruit of your work, and create beautiful memories. But do not let increase become merely a way to prove that those who underestimated you were wrong. Wealth used for revenge will never produce peace. Use what you receive to build an ordered life. Help wisely, and create opportunities for others without turning yourself into the answer to every need. Generosity must walk with boundaries. You are not required to rescue everyone through money, nor do you need to give merely because you fear being called selfish. Give from freedom rather than guilt, and do not help others in ways that enable them to avoid responsibility for their own lives. I am healing your relationship with money. You do not need to treat it as something evil, nor should you use it as a measurement of personal worth. When you possess little, you remain valuable. When you possess much, you are not more noble than others. Money simply reveals how a person is already living. If your inner life is ordered, greater resources will help you accomplish more good. If your heart remains full of fear, you may still feel deprived, regardless of how much you possess. Therefore, the greatest transformation will not exist only in your account, but in your freedom from living as though everything may disappear at any moment. Learn how to plan without allowing anxiety to consume the present. Save, but do not refuse every joy. Work diligently, but do not sacrifice your health and loved ones in pursuit of a number that never feels sufficient. The flow you have awaited may come gradually, like a river fed by many smaller streams. New income, reduced debt, a skill producing additional value, an unnecessary cost being removed, and an opening opportunity may together create a significant change. Do not despise humble beginnings merely because they do not resemble the dramatic picture in your imagination. Stability is often built through what is repeated every day. One wise decision today can become freedom for many years to come. Allow patience to walk beside hope. Because I do not merely want to place something into your hands, I want to teach you how to help it grow without losing peace. My beloved child, you have not failed merely because you experienced shortage. Those struggles are not your name. And you do not need to carry the posture of someone continually waiting for something terrible to happen. Enter the new season with gratitude, awakened eyes, and hands prepared to work. What you prayed for may begin appearing through very practical opportunities, requiring you to recognize, prepare, and act at the proper time. Do not remain inactive while waiting for a miracle. But neither should you assume that everything depends entirely upon your strength. Fulfill your portion through discipline. Then receive open doors with humility. I am leading you out of panic and into stability. Out of the feeling that there will never be enough and into a life capable of managing, building, and sharing. Genuine increase will not only give you more, it will help you become freer, wiser, and more capable of producing lasting good. Preserve purity of heart when opportunities come. Do not overlook small steps, and do not allow outward brilliance to cloud discernment. Your new season is not built upon chance, but upon maturity refined through difficult days. What once exhausted you will no longer determine your future. Continue moving forward, because the abundance you seek begins with the wisdom, faithfulness, and upright choices you are learning to practice each day. You have repeatedly wondered why recent circumstances have become so intense, why emotions have risen more heavily, and why every decision seems to carry greater pressure than before. My beloved child, this does not mean you are becoming weak or moving in the wrong direction. You are standing within an important season where your choices will not affect only your own life, but also those who are quietly looking toward you for stability. Someone sees you as a place where safety may be found amid uncertainty, as an honest voice among too many unclear messages, and as a point of support when what once felt familiar around them begins to shake, because what you carry is valuable. This season requires deeper awareness. I know that at times you cannot understand why others place so much trust in you. You see your shortcomings, the moments when you lose balance, and the days when even you do not know which direction to take. But I do not see you only through your moments of weakness. I see the entire journey that formed the person you are today. I see how you preserved kindness after repeated disappointment, how you tried to keep your word when no one reminded you, and how you did not easily turn away from people who needed you. These qualities were not formed in one day. They were refined through seasons when you had to be patient, raise yourself again, and learn to distinguish what was true from what merely appeared good. The trust growing around you is not accidental. I have allowed some people to recognize the depth you once disregarded within yourself. They do not only hear what you say, they sense sincerity in the way you remain present. They recognize that when everything becomes chaotic, you do not immediately run away. When others panic, you still try to keep your words from becoming another source of fear. When someone feels weak, you do not use their pain as a reason for judgment. This is why you are trusted. It is not because you are always perfect, but because you learned how to preserve integrity amid circumstances that could have made you hard or bitter. Before moving farther, I want you to pause for a moment and offer your agreement from the deepest place within. You do not need to perform something dramatic to prove your faith. Simply say honestly that you are willing to be guided, willing to grow, and willing to accept the responsibility accompanying the goodness, being prepared. One sincere yes can become the beginning of a change greater than you imagine. This surrender does not take away your authority over your life. It frees you from the burden of trying to control every detail, interpret every sign, and predict every outcome alone. A quiet battle is taking place around what has been entrusted to you. You may not always see it with your eyes, but you can sense it through moments when everything suddenly changes direction. Days when uneasiness arises without a clear explanation. Or times when you feel pulled between two opposing directions. Do not panic before these movements. Not every pressure comes to destroy you. Some pressures arise because something precious is being preserved. Doors are being arranged, and unsuitable relationships are being separated from your path. I am preventing certain things from arriving too early while advancing what has reached its proper time. What you carry is not something everyone is able to preserve. It may be wisdom formed through pain, the ability to notice what others overlook, or a calm presence that helps someone in panic believe that hope remains. Some gifts do not appear through outward prominence. They are recognized in the way a room feels lighter when you enter, the way people feel safe enough to speak truthfully, or your ability to bring clarity without imposing control. You may believe these are merely ordinary aspects of your character, but I know they were cultivated for a deeper purpose. Increasing pressure is not evidence that you lack strength. It reveals that your inner capacity is expanding. When greater responsibility approaches, former limitations are often touched. Fears you once concealed may rise again, not to govern you, but to be healed at the root. You may question whether you are good enough, wise enough, or strong enough for what lies ahead. Remember that I did not choose you according to an imaginary picture of perfection. I know every part of you, both what is steady and what still needs support. And I still place trust upon your life. Do not wait until fear disappears before believing that you are ready. Courage is not the complete absence of fear, but the decision to continue while your heart still trembles. You have done this many times already. You passed through days that appeared unbearable, made difficult decisions when no one could choose for you, and continued caring for others while you needed comfort yourself. None of these experiences was wasted. They taught you how to remain calm when pressure increases. Listen before reacting, and recognize that the right decision is not always the easiest one. The person who trusts you may see a steadiness that you have not yet recognized. They do not expect you to know every answer. Sometimes what they need is simply sincere presence, an honest word without embellishment, and someone who does not disappear when circumstances become difficult. Do not try to become anyone's savior, because that is not your responsibility. You can support without carrying their entire life. You can accompany them without allowing their pain to drown your peace. The maturity I am teaching you is the ability to love deeply while maintaining healthy boundaries. To give without emptying yourself completely. I also want you to stop judging yourself according to your most exhausted moments. One day of weakness does not erase the strength refined over many years. One imperfect decision does not make the entire journey a failure. You are still learning, and I do not require you to know everything before entering the role entrusted to you. You will be taught as you walk, corrected when necessary, and supported where your strength is insufficient. What matters is not that you never make mistakes, but that your heart remains soft enough to listen, humble enough to adjust, and courageous enough not to surrender merely because you are unfinished. You are the right person for this situation, not because you are superior to everyone, but because your journey prepared an understanding that others cannot possess in exactly the same way. What once made you feel different will become your ability to connect with people who also feel lost. The days when you had to find your own way will help you offer light without judging those who are moving slowly. The times when you were misunderstood will make you more careful before judging another person's story. I am transforming everything you experienced into living wisdom, not so that you may exalt yourself, but so that you may know you are capable of serving humbly. Therefore, do not fear when pressure becomes noticeable. Keep your heart near me. Observe carefully before making decisions. And do not allow haste to make you carry responsibilities that do not belong to you. What I entrust will be accompanied by peace, even though it still requires courage. You will not need continually to betray your values in order to keep it, nor must you become someone else to prove that you deserve it. Enter what lies ahead through the sincerity, gentleness, and strength formed throughout every season you have experienced. I know what I placed within you, and no moment of doubt can change that purpose. You are not deficient in my eyes. You are being expanded, strengthened, and prepared to become a place of peace for others without losing your own peace. My beloved child, you were never too sensitive or difficult to approach. You simply carry a depth that not everyone possesses enough maturity to understand and preserve. You entered relationships sincerely, offering discernment, devotion, and the ability to perceive small things others often overlooked. Some people said your standards were too high merely because you refused to accept dishonesty. Some called your boundaries complicated because they were accustomed to entering your life without showing respect. Some treated your sensitivity as weakness because they did not understand that it was the very way you recognized what brought peace and what was quietly wearing you down. But time will reveal that what they once dismissed was wisdom protecting you from deeper wounds. I want you to understand that your kindness was never a mistake. Loving wholeheartedly did not make you weak, and hoping for goodness within someone did not make you foolish. You simply gave from the truest part of your character. The tragedy was not that you loved, but that someone did not know how to value what was placed into their hands. They may have become accustomed to receiving compassion without accepting responsibility, being forgiven without truly changing, or watching you continually become smaller so that the relationship could appear peaceful. When you began standing upright, speaking clearly, and refusing treatment that wounded you, they may have claimed that you had changed. Indeed, you did change, but not by becoming cold. You simply stopped abandoning yourself in order to make another person remain. After leaving you, someone tried to retell the story in a way that made them feel more comfortable. They may have portrayed you as difficult, demanding, or overly emotional, because admitting the truth would have forced them to examine their own behavior. I know those words caused pain, especially when you were not present to explain or defend yourself. But you do not need to chase every distorted version of the story in order to repair your image in people's minds. Truth does not need you to shout in order to exist. Someone may create many versions of you, but the way you live over time will reveal more truth than every defense. Let your peace, consistency, and integrity become the answer. Those who possess genuine discernment will eventually recognize the difference between what was said and what you actually demonstrate. You once believed you had lost when they turned away. You interpreted their departure as proof that you were not good enough to be loved properly. But I want you to look again through new eyes. Some separations are not failures, but release from relationships no longer capable of accompanying you into a more mature season. Not everyone who once walked beside you can go where I am leading. Some people suited only the version of you who still compromised easily, feared loneliness, and remained silent before what caused pain. As healing began, your transformation revealed connections able to survive only while you remained weakened. Therefore, do not interpret every departure as loss. Some spaces are created so that you can breathe, see clearly, and receive something healthier. Your restoration is what causes former judgments to lose their power. Someone who believed you would remain trapped forever may be surprised to see that you continue living, continue loving, and refuse to allow bitterness to possess your heart. You did not rise to prove them wrong. You rose because you recognized that you deserve a more peaceful life. Your resilience does not need to be loud. It appears in the way you no longer react to provocation, no longer return to beg for acknowledgement, and can remember the past without being controlled by it. When you truly mature, you do not need the one who hurt you to regret their actions before you can continue. Your freedom is not built upon their response, but upon your decision that the old story will no longer govern you. Perhaps from a distance, they recognize that you are changing. They may see that you no longer try to explain, no longer struggle to be understood, and no longer remain where they once left you. But do not turn your growth into a message addressed to the past. I am not leading you upward so that you can look back and see who is watching. I am leading you forward so that you may know your worth. Live according to healthy boundaries, and stop giving your most precious parts to people who have not demonstrated maturity. If they recognize what they lost, that is their lesson. Your portion is to continue preserving a clean heart, refusing triumph and refusing to desire their suffering in order to feel vindicated. Every person must face the results produced by the way they live and treat others. This is not because I am cruel or desire punishment, but because every choice leaves a mark. Someone who continually dismisses sincerity will eventually realize that shallow relationships cannot satisfy. Someone accustomed to distorting truth through words may lose the trust of those around them. Someone who does not know how to treasure a good presence will understand its value after it is gone. But you do not need to watch their journey or wait for the day when they understand. Let them learn their lesson in the way they must, while you focus on the restoration unfolding within your own life. The parts of you that were drained are being replenished. Confidence worn away by doubt is being restored. The voice that became silent through fear of conflict is growing clearer. What others attempted to weaken within you will not disappear. It is being refined into something steadier and wiser. You have not fallen behind. You were separated from a cycle that forced you to repeat the same pain in different forms. I am teaching you that closeness must be given according to consistency, respect, and safety rather than beautiful words or intense emotion during the earliest days. Pain has become a filter, helping you see more clearly. You will no longer immediately dismiss the signs that make your heart uneasy. You will not continue silencing discernment merely to make someone else comfortable. When words and actions do not agree, you will know how to pause and observe. When someone respects your boundaries only, while circumstances favor them, but mocks them when they do not receive what they want, you will understand that this is not safety. You will no longer convince yourself that love must continually hurt in order to be deep. Healthy love does not make you question your worth every day, demand that you sacrifice peace, or require you to become smaller in order to remain. I will not allow this experience to define your future. I am using it to sharpen discernment, deepen self-respect, and teach you how to love without abandoning yourself. The next person who enters your life will meet someone clearer, someone who knows what they need and no longer fears speaking truth. They will not meet the version who apologized merely for having boundaries or tried to save a relationship alone. They will meet someone who remains gentle without being easily misled, forgives without restoring trust before change is demonstrated, and stays open while understanding that access must be built through time. Do not fear that your new wisdom will make you difficult to love. The right person will not fear your depth, call your sensitivity a burden, or feel threatened by healthy standards. They will know how to rejoice in your growth without turning it into competition. They will not need you to become smaller so that they can feel larger. You are not asking too much when you desire honesty, consistency, and respect. You simply once asked the right things from people who lacked the capacity to give them. Now you understand that not everyone is bad, but neither is everyone suited to enter the closest circle of your life. Therefore, do not misunderstand this season as a call to return to the past. I did not bring you here so that you could wait for someone from before to return and finally recognize your worth. I am calling you to recognize that worth, even if they never express it. Genuine healing begins when you no longer need their apology in order to possess peace, their regret in order to feel valuable, or their awareness of your progress in order to know how far you have come. Let the past remain in its proper place, a lesson, not a home, a memory, not a prophecy, a chapter that has ended, not the whole story.